think using the EDC funds for continued economic development to bring good, high-paying jobs to Frisco is the highest and best use for it. And also, if we need to use it for other infrastructure such as roads or whatever, I've advocated personally in the past to have an election to spend it on first responders and stuff like that during a time of crisis. Should we face another COVID event again where we are worried about not having enough sales tax in order to do that, and we've had a representative that had proposed similar language like that in the state. If we were going to use EDC money, I would want to try to go down a path like that. Speaking to a little farther along, we just approved, or there was just, the city of Frisco just approved an LOI. My issue with that is Frisco Live, which is the entity that we contracted with, is a startup entity. It's been around since November of 2024. It is going to be funded with $4 million for capital expenses only. And the other entities that we hear about, Broadway Across America, Broadway Dallas, and John Gore Theatrical, are very well known, very talented people, but they have no direct obligation to fund anything beyond that $4 million. So if for some reason it does not work out like we said we are, which a lot of performing arts centers do not, who's going to fund that? It will continue to be our EDC, CDC, and Frisco taxpayers eventually is what we believe. How much time I have left? 40 seconds? Oh boy, I'm railing it out. So we're standing to be no on both Proposition A and Proposition B. And again, our name of the PAC is Citizens for a Smarter Frisco. And if we have a Facebook page, if anybody wants to visit it, you can reach out and somebody from the PAC will respond. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brian. Now representing the PAC known as Smart Frisco, speaking in support of the propositions, please welcome Bill Woodard.
Thank you. So first of all, I want to explain a little bit about what you're voting on, and that's two tools to allow the City Council to continue to pursue this project. If these two items pass, it doesn't guarantee that the project happens. There's still a lot of work to be done. So I'll explain that a little bit. First tool is, can we use some of our economic development funds for a community development project? And that's simply because there was a state law change 2 years ago that put some very tight definitions on what's economic and what's community development types of projects. So the first one is just, can we use money from one sales tax bucket in another sales tax bucket? The second item that you're voting on is, would you allow authorization to use up to $160 million of bond funds? That's a maximum amount. We're not going to go out and sell that as soon as it passes. There's still work to be done. It's just the authorization to do that. Now, you might ask, why would we want to use economic development funds for a community development project? Well, the answer is simple. This is an economic development project. It will bring economic development to the northern part of Frisco. It will be a regional draw, just like the Star is, just like Omni PGA, just like FC Dallas Stadium is. It will help generate additional sales tax that allows us to continue to attract businesses to Frisco. So it is a net positive impact project for the city. Sorry, I've got some notes here. Make sure I mention everything. In regards to the sales tax, this will only come from existing sales tax funds. We are not increasing the sales tax, and none of this project will be funded out of property tax ever. Even the council members and the people that are part of the PAC that are for this know that we will not touch property tax, period. It's as simple as that. In regards to the LOI, yes, the LOI right now is a framework. That is typical of any LOI that you see on any project. In fact, the LOI that we had for Omni PGA, that project probably got 1,000 deaths while we were working on that before we finally got to a resolution. So what's going to happen is that LOI becomes the framework that the council will continue to work on in the future to bring a final contract that will tie in the John Gore Foundation and those other entities. Yes, Frisco Live is a new entity because you have literally the biggest player in Broadway America and the regional partner in Dallas Broadway that have come together, that have agreed to manage the center, and after year 5, take all risk of any operational losses. It's as simple as that. And they are backed by organizations that are literally Broadway of America. They are the Jerry Joneses of the arts, of the performing arts world. So we've got a great situation right now with multiple partners on board. Broadway of America, you've got Prosper ISD on board. They're fully invested. Is that my 3 minutes already? All right. Well, anyway, we've got a table in the back. We'd be happy to talk to you more if you come out and see us afterwards.
Thank you, Bill. If we could have our Collin College candidates make their way to the stage.